The dining room was silent enough to hear a pin drop. 12 pairs of eyes watched Donna's face as Minjai spoke the words that would destroy everything. "I don't want her," he said, his voice cold and clear. "I never did." Donna felt the words hit her like physical blows, but she did not cry. She did not scream. She simply smiled that sad, knowing smile, placed her napkin carefully on the table, and stood up. "Thank you for dinner," she said softly, her voice steady even as her heart shattered. Then she walked out with her head held high, leaving behind the man who had just chosen his family's approval over her heart. What Minjai did not know, what none of them knew, was that by the time the sun rose the next morning, Donna would be gone, completely, utterly vanished. And the man who claimed he never wanted her would spend the next weeks crying, searching, and desperately trying to find the woman he had just pushed away. The dining room was too quiet. Donna could hear her own heartbeat, loud and fast, like it wanted to escape her chest. 12 pairs of eyes stared at her, waiting. The chandelier above cast shadows across expensive plates that no one was eating from anymore. "So tell us, Miss Achieng," the older man at the head of the table said, his voice smooth like oil. "Why exactly did you come to Korea?" Donna's fingers gripped her napkin under the table. She had been in difficult situations before, working 3 jobs while studying, sending money home to her siblings, explaining to professors why she missed class because her shift ran late. But this was different. These people looked at her like she was a puzzle they needed to solve, or worse, a problem they needed to remove. "I came on a scholarship," she said quietly, "to study international business at Seoul National University." "How convenient," a woman in pearls muttered, loud enough for everyone to hear. "That you happened to save Mrs. Kwan at the subway station, that you happened to catch the attention of this family." Donna felt her face grow warm. She wanted to stand up, to defend herself, to tell them she never asked for any of this. But before she could speak, the man sitting beside her, the man who had barely looked at her all evening, finally moved. Kwan Minjai stood up slowly. The room seemed to hold its breath. "Uncle," he said, his voice flat and cold. "What exactly are you implying?" The older man, Jai Sung, smiled. It was not a kind smile. "I'm simply saying that the timing is suspicious. Her father, David Ochieng, worked for this family 25 years ago. He disappeared with confidential information. And now his daughter appears, saves your grandmother, and suddenly she is part of our family gatherings." Donna's heart stopped. Her father? How did they know about her father? "That is ridiculous," Minjai said, but his voice had changed. There was uncertainty in it now. "Is it?" Jae Sung pulled out a folder. "I had her investigated. Everything is here. Her father fled Korea in the middle of the night. Your father, Minjai's father, lost important business deals because of what David Ochieng did." The room erupted in whispers. Donna felt like she was drowning. She opened her mouth to speak, to explain that she knew nothing about this, but no sound came out. Minjai turned to look at her for the first time that evening. His eyes were cold, searching, suspicious. "Did you know?" he asked quietly. "Know what?" Donna managed to whisper. "About your father, about his connection to my family." She saw it then, the shift in his face. He was pulling away from her, building walls between them. All the months of slowly getting closer, of late-night conversations, and almost moments, were disappearing right in front of her eyes. "Minjai," she started, but his uncle interrupted. "The question we should be asking," Jae Sung said, standing up, "is why are we even entertaining this arrangement? Minjai, you are the heir to this family. You cannot seriously be considering marrying this girl." The word "this girl" hit Donna like a slap. She felt small, unwanted, completely out of place. Minjae's jaw tightened. Everyone was looking at him, waiting for him to respond, to choose a side. His family or her? The silence stretched for what felt like hours. Then he spoke, and Donna felt her heart shatter into 1,000 pieces. "I don't want her," Minjae said clearly, loudly enough for everyone to hear. "I never did." The room went completely silent. Donna sat frozen, those words echoing in her head. "I don't want her. I never did." She waited for him to take it back, to say he did not mean it. But he just stood there, looking away from her, his hands clenched into fists at his sides. Slowly, carefully, Donna placed her napkin on the table. Her hands were shaking, but she forced them to stay steady. She stood up, smoothed down her dress, and smiled. It was a sad smile, the kind that said she understood everything now. "Thank you for the dinner," she said softly. "Please excuse me." She walked out of that dining room with her head high, even though every step felt like walking on broken glass. No one stopped her. No one came after her, especially not him. That was 3 days ago. Now, Donna was gone. Minjae stood in her empty apartment, staring at the space where her bed used to be. Everything was gone. The small desk where she studied late at night, the tiny kitchen where she had tried to teach him how to make chapati, the colorful blanket her mother had sent from Kenya. All of it vanished. His assistant, Tai Min, stood by the door, looking uncomfortable. "The landlord says she paid her remaining rent in cash 2 nights ago," Tai Min reported. "Left the keys and was gone within hours. Her phone number is disconnected. The university confirmed she withdrew from all her classes yesterday morning." Minjae could not breathe properly. His chest felt tight, like someone was squeezing his lungs. "The cafe?" he asked, his voice rough. "She resigned the same night. Her manager said she seemed calm, thanked him for everything, and left." Calm. She had been calm while his entire world was falling apart. "Sir," Taemin hesitated, "there is something else. She left this at your penthouse. The security found it this morning." He handed Minjae an envelope. Minjae's hands shook as he opened it. Inside was a letter, written in Donna's neat handwriting. "Dear Minjae, I am sorry for all the trouble I brought to your family. You were right to say what you said. This arrangement was always temporary, and I forgot that. Thank you for helping my grandmother that day at the hospital. Thank you for the money you sent for my brother's school fees, even though it was part of our contract. Thank you for showing me kindness when I first arrived in Seoul and felt completely lost. I hope your family finds peace now that I am gone. Please tell your grandmother I will miss her tea and her stories. I finally understand why my father never returned to Korea. Some places are too painful to stay. Take care of yourself." Donna Minjae read the letter 3 times, then a 4th. His eyes kept going back to one line. "I finally understand why my father never returned to Korea." What did that mean? "Find her," he said suddenly, his voice desperate. "I don't care what it costs. Find her." Taemin nodded and quickly left. Minjae sank to the floor of Donna's empty apartment, and, for the first time since he was a child, he cried. If you are enjoying this story so far, do me a favor. Leave a comment below and tell me what you think will happen next. Will Minjae find Donna? What secrets are hiding in the past? And do not forget to like this video. Trust me, you do not want to miss what happens next. Now, let's go back to where this all started. 4 months earlier, Donna was running late. Again, her professor had kept the class overtime, and now she had exactly 15 minutes to get across Seoul to her shift at the cafe. If she was late one more time, Manager Kim would definitely fire her. She could not afford to lose this job. Her sister's school fees were due next week. She rushed down the subway stairs, dodging through crowds of people. Sol was always busy, always moving, always in a hurry just like her. That is when she saw the old woman stumble. It happened fast. One moment the woman was standing near the platform. The next, she was falling forward, her bag spilling across the ground, her body heading straight toward the tracks. Donna did not think. She just moved. She grabbed the woman's arm and pulled hard, using all her strength to drag her backward. They both fell onto the concrete platform, just as the train rushed past. So close, Donna felt the wind from it. Her heart was racing. Her hands were shaking. The old woman was breathing hard, clutching Donna's arm. "Are you okay?" Donna asked in Korean. Her accent was still thick, but she had been practicing. The woman looked up at her with kind, surprised eyes. "You saved my life." No, Donna said quickly, helping her sit up properly. "You just lost your balance. Anyone would have helped." But looking around, Donna realized that was not true. People were staring, but no one else had moved. They were all too shocked, or too afraid, or too busy with their own lives. "What is your name, child?" the old woman asked, holding Donna's hand tightly. Donna Achieng." "You are not Korean." Donna smiled slightly. "No, ma'am. I am from Kenya." "Kenya," the woman repeated slowly, like she was tasting the word. "You are very far from home." "Yes, ma'am." The woman looked at her for a long moment, then smiled warmly. "My name is Mrs. Kwan. And you, Donna from Kenya, must let me thank you properly." "Really, that is not necessary," Donna said, glancing at her watch. She was now definitely late for work. "I am just glad you are safe." But Mrs. Kwan was already pulling out her phone, pressing numbers with determination. "Grandmother, where are you?" A deep voice answered, loud enough for Donna to hear. He sounded annoyed. "The driver has been looking for you for 20 minutes. I am at Gangnam Station, and I nearly died," Mrs. Kwan said cheerfully. There was a pause. "What?" "A lovely young woman saved my life. Her name is Donna, and she is from Kenya. Send the car." "Grandmother." But Mrs. Kwan had already hung up. She smiled at Donna like she had just won a prize. "My grandson will be here soon. You will come home with me for tea." "I really cannot," Donna protested. "I have work." "Where do you work?" "At a cafe near Hongdae." Mrs. Kwan pulled out her phone again. Donna watched in horror as this old woman she had just met called the cafe spoke to manager Kim, explained the situation, and somehow convinced him to give Donna the evening off. "There," Mrs. Kwan said, satisfied. "Now you have no excuse." Donna did not know whether to laugh or cry. This was the strangest thing that had happened to her since moving to Korea, and that was saying something. 20 minutes later, a black car pulled up. Not just any car, but the kind that made people on the street stop and stare. The driver jumped out and rushed to help Mrs. Kwan, looking very relieved to see her safe. "Grandmother," another voice said, and Donna looked up. She had seen handsome men before. Seoul was full of them. But this man was different. He was tall, dressed in all black, and had the kind of face that made you forget what you were going to say. But it was not his looks that made Donna nervous. It was his eyes. They were cold, calculating, like he was always 3 steps ahead of everyone else. "This is Donna," Mrs. Kwan announced proudly. "She saved my life today." The man's eyes moved to Donna. She felt like he was looking right through her, reading everything about her in seconds. "Thank you," he said, but his voice had no emotion in it. It was the kind of thank you people said because they had to, not because they meant it. "You are welcome," Donna replied, meeting his eyes. She was not going to be intimidated by some rich guy, no matter how cold he looked. Something flickered in his expression. Surprise, maybe. People probably did not look him in the eye very often. "Get in the car," Mrs. Kwan said, already being helped inside by the driver. "Both of you." The man, who Donna assumed was the grandson, looked like he wanted to argue, but he just sighed and gestured for Donna to enter first. The car ride was awkward. Mrs. Kwan sat between them, talking happily about her day, about how lucky she was, about how this was clearly fate. The grandson, whose name Donna still did not know, stared out the window in silence. Donna noticed his jaw was tight, his hands clenched. He looked angry, but she could not figure out why. She had just saved his grandmother's life. Shouldn't he be grateful? They arrived at a house that made Donna's stomach drop. No, not a house, a mansion. Gates opened automatically. The car drove through gardens that seemed to go on forever. The building itself looked like something from a historical drama. This was a mistake. She did not belong here. "I really should go," Donna said quickly as the car stopped. "I have studying to do." "Nonsense," Mrs. Kwan said firmly. "You will have tea, you will eat dinner, and then we will send you home safely. I insist." Donna had learned, in her months in Korea, that when an elder insisted on something, you did not argue. Inside was even more overwhelming. Staff members bowed as they passed. Everything looked expensive and old and important. Donna was very aware of her cheap shoes and her faded backpack. They sat in a room filled with traditional furniture. Tea was brought immediately. Mrs. Kwan poured it herself, which seemed to surprise the grandson. "Grandmother, you should rest," he said. It was the first time he had shown any emotion, and it was concern. "I am fine, Minjai," she said, waving him off. "Thanks to Donna." So his name was Minjai. Donna filed that information away. "Tell me about yourself, dear," Mrs. Kwan said to Donna. "What brings you to Korea?" Donna hesitated. She was used to people asking this question, and she had learned to read what they really wanted to know. "Are you here illegally? Are you looking for a husband? What do you want from us?" But Mrs. Kwan's eyes seemed genuinely curious, genuinely kind. "I have a scholarship at Seoul National University," Donna explained. "I am studying international business. I work part-time to send money to my family back home. I have 3 younger siblings." "No parents?" Mrs. Kwan asked gently. "My mother is alive, but she's not well. My father passed away when I was 12. I'm sorry, child." Donna smiled slightly. "It was a long time ago." "Still painful, though?" Mrs. Kwan said, and Donna was surprised by how much she understood. Minjai had not said a word. He just sat there, drinking his tea, watching them talk. Donna was very aware of his presence, of how he seemed to take up space without even trying. "You must come for dinner this weekend," Mrs. Kwan announced suddenly. "Oh no, I could not," Donna started. "I insist. Saturday evening. Minjai will send a car for you." Minjai's head snapped up. "Grandmother." "What?" Mrs. Kwan looked at him innocently. "This young woman saved my life. The least we can do is feed her a proper meal." The look Minjai gave his grandmother could have frozen water. But Mrs. Kwan just smiled sweetly and poured more tea. Donna wanted to refuse. Everything about this situation felt wrong, too big, too complicated. But Mrs. Kwan was looking at her with such hope, such warmth, that Donna found herself nodding. "Saturday evening," she agreed quietly. Mrs. Kwan clapped her hands together happily. Minjai looked like he wanted to throw his teacup across the room. After dinner, which was delicious and awkward in equal measure, a driver took Donna home. She gave him the address of her tiny apartment in a neighborhood that was definitely not like the one they had just left. As the car drove away, Donna leaned against her building and let out a long breath. What had she just agreed to? Inside her apartment, which was basically one room with a bathroom, she dropped her bag and sat on her bed. Her phone buzzed. Messages from her mother asking if she had eaten. Messages from her sister asking for help with homework. A reminder that rent was due in 2 weeks. This was her real life, not fancy houses and silent grandsons and drivers in black cars. This was real. But Saturday came anyway, whether she was ready or not. The car arrived exactly on time. Donna had spent an hour trying to figure out what to wear. Everything she owned suddenly looked too cheap, too casual, too wrong. She finally settled on a simple blue dress her mother had made for her before she left Kenya. It was the nicest thing she had. The driver, the same kind man from before, smiled at her. "Miss Donna, good evening." "Good evening, Mr. Lee," she replied. He had introduced himself last time. "Mrs. Kwan is very excited you are coming," he said as they drove. Donna smiled nervously. "She's very kind." "She is lonely," Mr. Lee said quietly. "Her husband passed 5 years ago. Her children are always busy. Minjae works all the time. She lights up when she has someone to talk to." Donna felt her heart soften. Maybe that was why Mrs. Kwan had insisted she come. Not because of obligation, but because of loneliness. Donna understood loneliness. At the house, Mrs. Kwan greeted her like an old friend. She took Donna's hands and smiled so warmly that Donna felt tears prick her eyes. When was the last time someone had been this happy to see her? "Come, come," Mrs. Kwan said. "I want to show you my garden before dinner." The garden was beautiful. Mrs. Kwan pointed out different plants, told stories about each one. Donna relaxed slowly, letting herself enjoy this strange, unexpected friendship. "My grandson will join us for dinner," Mrs. Kwan mentioned casually. "He's very busy with work, but I insisted." Donna's stomach tightened. She had been hoping to avoid Minjae. Something about him made her nervous, like standing too close to a fire. Dinner was in a smaller room this time, more intimate. Minjae arrived late, still wearing what looked like work clothes, all black again. Did he own anything with color? "Sorry," he said shortly, sitting down across from Donna. "You work too much," Mrs. Kwan scolded gently. "Someone has to," he replied, but there was no anger in it, just tiredness. Donna noticed the shadows under his eyes, the tension in his shoulders. Whatever he did for work, it was taking a toll on him. Dinner started quietly. Donna focused on her food, trying not to draw attention to herself. But Mrs. Kwan had other plans. "Donna is studying international business," she told Minjae. "Top of her class." "Second," Donna corrected quietly. "I am second in my class." "Because you work 2 jobs while studying," Mrs. Kwan said firmly. "That counts for something." Minjae looked at Donna, really looked at her for the first time. "What kind of business are you interested in?" It was the first real question he had asked her. Donna sat up straighter. "Import and export between Africa and Asia," she said. "There is so much potential for trade that people are not seeing. Korean technology and manufacturing, African resources and growing markets. But the connections are not there yet. Someone needs to build those bridges." She realized she had been talking too much. Her professor always said she got too passionate about this topic. But Minjae was watching her with something new in his eyes. Interest, maybe. Or respect. "That is smart," he said simply. 2 words, but Donna felt proud anyway. Mrs. Kwan beamed like she had personally arranged this conversation. The rest of dinner went smoother. Minjae even asked a few more questions about her studies, her ideas. He seemed surprised that she had thought things through so carefully, that she had plans and goals and determination. What? Did he think she came to Korea just for fun? After dinner, Mrs. Kwan insisted Donna stay for tea again. This time, Minjae did not look quite so angry about it. He sat quietly, sometimes on his phone, sometimes just listening as Donna and his grandmother talked. When it was finally time to leave, Mrs. Kwan hugged Donna goodbye. You will come again, yes? She asked, and it was not really a question. If you want me to, Donna said honestly. I do. Very much. In the car heading home, Donna felt confused. Tonight had been nice. Too nice. She was not supposed to be getting comfortable in that world. It was not hers. It would never be hers. But over the next 3 weeks, Mrs. Kwan kept inviting her back, and Donna kept saying yes. She told herself it was because she did not want to hurt the old woman's feelings. She told herself it was just kindness, just repaying the generosity. She did not let herself think about how she had started to look forward to those visits, how Mrs. Kwan's stories made her laugh, how the house started to feel less scary and more familiar, how Minjae had started to stay for entire dinners instead of leaving early, how he had started to ask her real questions, to debate with her about business and politics and culture, how his eyes were not always cold anymore. She did not think about any of that. But on the 4th week, everything changed. Donna arrived for dinner to find not just Mrs. Kwan and Minjae, but 6 other people. Family members, she realized quickly. And they didn't look happy to see her. Mrs. Kwan had not mentioned that other people would be there. Donna stood in the doorway, feeling every pair of eyes on her, judging, measuring, finding her lacking. Grandmother, a sharp voice said, "Who is this?" The woman who spoke was beautiful in an intimidating way. Perfect hair, perfect dress, perfect posture. Everything about her screamed money and status. "This is Donna," Mrs. Kwan said warmly, taking Donna's arm. "The young woman I told you about. She saved my life." "How fortunate," the woman said. But her tone suggested she thought it was anything but fortunate. Minjae appeared at the top of the stairs. He saw Donna, saw his family, members, and his expression darkened. "Grandmother," he said quietly, descending the stairs. "What is this?" "Family dinner," she replied innocently. "I thought it was time everyone met Donna properly." This was a setup. Donna realized it immediately. Mrs. Kwan was trying to force her family to accept Donna, but it was having the opposite effect. They looked at her like she was an intruder, a threat. Dinner was torture. Donna sat between Mrs. Kwan and a teenage girl, who seemed to be the only neutral person at the table. Everyone else asked questions that were not really questions. "So, how long do you plan to stay in Korea?" Translation: "When are you leaving?" "Are your grades good enough to keep your scholarship?" Translation: "Are you actually smart or just lucky?" "Do you have a boyfriend back in Kenya?" Translation: "What are your intentions?" Donna answered politely, carefully, feeling like she was walking through a minefield. Minjae sat across from her, silent and tense, not helping at all. The worst was Uncle Jae-sung, the man at the head of the table. He watched Donna like a hawk watching a mouse, waiting for her to make one wrong move. "It is very impressive that you learned Korean so quickly," he said, his voice smooth. "You must be very determined." "I had good teachers," Donna replied carefully. "And what do you think of our country?" "Very different from Kenya, I imagine." There it was. The trap. If she praised Korea too much, she would sound like she was trying too hard. If she criticized anything, she would sound ungrateful. "Every country has its beauty and its challenges," Donna said. "I am grateful for the opportunity to study here and learn from a different culture." Jae-sung smiled, but it did not reach his eyes. Diplomatic answer: "You would make a good politician." The teenage girl beside Donna, who had introduced herself as Jiwoo, suddenly spoke up. "I think it is cool that you came all the way from Kenya by yourself. That takes guts." Donna looked at her gratefully. "Thank you." Jiwoo, her mother, the sharp-voiced woman, said warningly. "What?" "I'm just being honest." Jiwoo shrugged and went back to her food. Donna decided she liked Jiwoo. After dinner, while everyone moved to the sitting room, Ji-woo pulled Donna aside into a hallway. "I am sorry about them," she said quietly. "They are always like this with new people. Suspicious and mean." "It is okay," Donna said, though it was not okay at all. "No, it is not." Ji-woo glanced around to make sure no one was listening. "They think everyone wants something from this family. Money, status, connections. They cannot imagine someone just being nice without wanting something in return." "Your grandmother is very kind," Donna said. "I just wanted to be her friend." Ji-woo studied her face. "I believe you. But they will not. Especially not Uncle Jae-sung. He is suspicious of everyone." "What about your cousin, Min-jae?" Ji-woo's expression changed, became sad. "Min-jae does not trust anyone. He has his reasons. Just be careful around him, okay? He does not know how to let people in, so he pushes everyone away." Before Donna could ask what she meant, Mrs. Kwan called them back to the sitting room. The rest of the evening dragged on. Donna could not wait to leave. When the driver finally took her home, she collapsed on her bed, fully dressed, and stared at the ceiling. This was why she should not have kept coming back. She had let herself forget that she did not belong in that world. Tonight had reminded her painfully. She decided she would not go back. She would call Mrs. Kwan tomorrow, thank her for everything, and politely distance herself. But the next morning, before she could make that call, someone knocked on her door. Donna opened it to find Min-jae standing in her hallway, looking completely out of place in his expensive clothes in her rundown building. "How did you find my address?" she asked, too surprised to be polite. "Can I come in?" Donna hesitated, very aware of how small and shabby her apartment was. But she stepped aside. Min-jae entered and looked around. His face showed no judgment, just observation. He noticed the textbooks stacked everywhere, the small kitchen area, the single bed that also served as her couch. "I came to apologize," he said, turning to face her, "for last night. My grandmother should not have ambushed you like that. She was just trying to be kind. She was trying to make a point to the family. And she used you to do it." Min-jae ran a hand through his hair, frustrated. "That was not fair to you." Donna crossed her arms. "Why do you care?" "What? Why do you care if it was fair to me or not? You barely spoke to me last night. You just sat there while they interrogated me." Min-jae's jaw tightened. "If I had defended you, it would have made things worse. They would have assumed—" He stopped. "Assumed what?" "That there was something between us." Donna felt her face heat up. "Well, there is not, so you have nothing to worry about." "I know that," Min-jae said quickly. Too quickly. They stood there in awkward silence. "Look," Min-jae finally said, "I have a problem, and I think you might be able to help me solve it." "What kind of problem?" "My grandmother is obsessed with me getting married. Every week there is a new woman she wants me to meet, a new matchmaking scheme. Last night was her way of showing the family that she has already chosen someone." "You." Donna's stomach dropped. "That is ridiculous. I am not. We are not. She cannot just—" "I know. But now the family thinks she is serious about this, and they are going to make your life hell to prove you are not good enough. Then I will stop coming around. Problem solved. That will break her heart, and it will not stop her from matchmaking. She will just find someone else, and the whole thing will start over." Min-jae paused. "Unless I am already engaged." Donna stared at him. "You cannot be serious. Hear me out. We pretend to be engaged, just for a few months. Long enough for my grandmother to be happy and for my family to back off. Then we quietly end things. Say we realized we wanted different things. Part as friends. That is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard." "I will pay you." Donna felt like he had slapped her. "Excuse me? I know you send money home to your family, I know you work 2 jobs while going to school. I can pay off your student loans. I can send money for your siblings' education. I can— Get out. Min-jae stopped. What? Get out of my apartment. Donna's voice shook with anger. You think because you have money, you can just buy people? Buy me. I am not for sale. That is not what I meant. That is exactly what you meant. You want to hire me to play pretend because it is easier than just telling your grandmother the truth. Well, I'm not interested. She walked to the door and opened it, waiting for him to leave. Min-jae stood there, looking like he genuinely did not understand why she was angry. That made it worse. Please leave, Donna said quietly. He walked to the door, then paused. I'm sorry. I did not mean to insult you. But you did. He left without another word. Donna slammed the door and leaned against it, breathing hard. The nerve of that man. The absolute nerve. Her phone rang. It was her mother. Donna, honey! Her mother's voice was strained. It is about your brother. Donna's anger vanished instantly, replaced by fear. What happened? He collapsed at school. The doctors say his heart condition is worse. He needs surgery soon. Or— Her mother's voice broke. Donna felt the world tilt. Her little brother, Samuel, had been born with a heart defect. They had been managing it with medication, but they always knew surgery might be necessary eventually. How much? Donna asked, her voice hollow. 2 million shillings, about $20,000 US. $20,000. Donna's entire body went cold. She did not have $20,000. She did not have $2,000. After sending money home and paying her rent and tuition, she barely had $200. I am looking into selling the land, her mother continued, but it will take time, and the doctors say— Don't sell the land, Donna said quickly. That land was all they had. I will figure something out. Donna, there is no way you can— I will figure it out, Mama. I promise. Tell Samuel I love him. She hung up and stared at her phone. $20,000. Where was she supposed to get $20,000? The answer was standing in her hallway 20 minutes ago, offering her money. No, absolutely not. She would not sell herself like that. She would find another way. But 3 days later, after calling every aid organization, every scholarship fund, every loan office, Donna had to face the truth. There was no other way, at least not fast enough. Samuel needed surgery within the month. She found herself standing outside a tall glass building in Gangnam, the address Min-jae's assistant had given her after she had swallowed her pride and called. The office was as cold and intimidating as Min-jae himself, all glass and metal and expensive furniture that looked uncomfortable. Min-jae stood by the window, looking out at Seoul. He turned when she entered. You changed your mind, he said. It was not a question. I have conditions. He gestured for her to sit. She remained standing. I need $20,000 sent directly to a hospital in Nairobi within the week. My brother needs surgery. Something flickered in Min-jae's expression. Done. What else? This ends in exactly 6 months, not longer. Agreed. We tell your grandmother the truth when it is over. I will not let her think I broke your heart. Min-jae hesitated, then nodded. Okay. And in public you treat me with respect. I do not care what you actually think of me. But when people are watching, you act like I matter to you. You do matter, Min-jae said quietly. Donna ignored that. Do we have a deal? Min-jae pulled out a folder from his desk. I had a contract drawn up. Read it carefully. If you want to change anything, we can. Donna took the contract and sat down to read. It was thorough, almost too thorough. Every detail of their arrangement spelled out in legal language. Payment terms, public appearance expectations, termination clauses. It felt wrong, reducing this to a business transaction. But that was all it was, right? Business. She signed at the bottom. Minjai signed after her. "I will have the money sent today," he said. "And I think we should announce the engagement this weekend. My grandmother is having a birthday party. It would make her happy." Donna nodded numbly. What had she just agreed to? "One more thing," Minjai said. "You will need to move into my apartment." "What?" "No, that was not in the contract. For appearances. People will expect us to live together if we are engaged. I do not care what people expect. My grandmother will expect it." Donna wanted to argue more, but she was so tired. Tired of fighting. Tired of struggling. Tired of everything. "Fine," she said. "But I get my own room. I have 4 bedrooms. Take your pick." The moving happened fast. Donna did not have much to move. Minjai sent people to pack and transport everything. Within 2 days, she was living in a penthouse apartment that had a better view than she had ever seen in her life. She hated it. Not the apartment itself, which was beautiful, but what it represented. That she had given up, given in, agreed to lie for money. Her mother called to say the hospital had received the payment. Samuel's surgery was scheduled. The relief in her mother's voice made Donna's chest ache. At least something good was coming from this mess. Mrs. Kwan's birthday party was huge. Hundreds of people, all dressed in clothes that cost more than Donna's scholarship. She wore a dress Minjai had bought for her, which she had initially refused, until he pointed out that showing up in her normal clothes would embarrass his grandmother. Everything was about appearances. Minjai stayed by her side the entire evening, his hand on her lower back, guiding her through crowds. To everyone watching, they looked like a real couple. Close, comfortable, connected. It was all fake. But then Mrs. Kwan asked them to dance, and Minjai led Donna to the dance floor. "I do not know how to dance like this," Donna whispered, panicking as she saw other couples doing some kind of formal waltz. "Just follow my lead," Minjai said quietly. His hand settled on her waist, the other taking her hand. He guided her through the steps slowly. Donna focused on not stepping on his feet, very aware of how close they were, how many people were watching. "You are doing fine," Minjai murmured. "Breathe." She had not realized she was holding her breath. "This is weird," she whispered. "What is?" "Pretending. Being here. All of it." Minjai was quiet for a moment. "It gets easier." "Is that sad or comforting?" "Both, probably." Donna looked up at him. His face was unreadable as always, but there was something in his eyes, something tired and lonely. "Why do you really not want to get married?" she asked quietly. "What?" "Your grandmother wants you to be happy. Why are you so against actually finding someone?" Minjai's expression shuddered completely. "That is none of your business. We are pretending to be engaged. I think it is a little bit my business. This is a contract, Donna, not a therapy session." His words stung. Donna stepped back slightly, maintaining the dance but putting emotional distance between them. "You are right," she said coolly. "I apologize for overstepping." Minjai looked like he wanted to say something else, but the song ended. They separated, and Donna walked away, needing air, needing space. She found a balcony and stepped outside into the cool night. Seoul stretched out below. Millions of lights, millions of lives. She had never felt more alone. "He is always like that," a voice said behind her. Donna turned to find Jiwoo leaning against the doorframe. "Like what?" Donna asked. "Cold when people get too close. It is his defense mechanism." Jiwoo came to stand beside her. "Did he tell you about Sunhee?" "Who?" "His fiancée. His real fiancée. From 5 years ago." Donna's stomach twisted. "No, he did not mention her." Jiwoo sighed. "She died. Car accident. They were supposed to get married in 2 months. After that, Minjai just shut down, threw himself into work, pushed everyone away. Grandmother thinks he needs someone to help him live again. The rest of the family thinks he should just focus on business. Suddenly, Minjai's coldness made more sense. He was not just arrogant. He was grieving, protecting himself. "Why are you telling me this?" Donna asked. Jiwoo shrugged. "Because you were the first person he has brought around in 5 years. Even if it is fake, even if it is just to make grandmother happy, it means something. He is trying, in his own broken way." Before Donna could respond, someone called Jiwoo back inside. Donna stayed on the balcony, processing this information. She had thought Minjai was just another cold, rich guy. But maybe he was something more complicated, something more human. When she finally went back inside, she found Minjai talking to his uncle, Jae-sung. The conversation looked tense. "Ah, Donna," Jae-sung said when he saw her, his voice too friendly. "We were just talking about you." Donna's guard went up immediately. "All good things, I hope." "Of course. I was just telling Minjai how fortunate he is to have found someone so unique." The way he said unique made it sound like an insult. "Thank you," Donna said carefully. "Tell me, how did you two actually meet? I heard the story about you saving Mrs. Kwan, but when did it become romantic?" It was a test. Donna glanced at Minjai, unsure what story they were supposed to have. Minjai smoothly put his arm around her waist. "She kept coming to visit my grandmother. I found myself looking forward to seeing her. One day I realized I was not just being polite anymore. I actually wanted her there." He said it so convincingly that for a moment, Donna almost believed it. "How sweet," Jae-sung said, still smiling his cold smile. "And your family in Kenya, Donna. They must be thrilled about this match." "My mother is happy I am happy," Donna replied. "And your father?" "Oh, wait. Minjai mentioned he passed away. What was his name again?" Donna's heart started beating faster. Why was he asking about her father? "David," she said quietly. "David Ochieng." Something flashed in Jae-sung's eyes. Recognition. But it was gone too quickly to be sure. "I'm sorry for your loss," he said. "When did he pass?" "When I was 12. "Why?" "Just curious. I have some business connections in Kenya. Thought I might have known him." Jae-sung smiled. "Excuse me. I see someone I need to speak with." He walked away, leaving Donna with an uneasy feeling in her stomach. "That was strange," she said to Minjai. "That is my uncle." Strange is his default. But Minjai was frowning, watching Jae-sung disappear into the crowd. The party continued late into the night. By the time they got back to the apartment, Donna was exhausted from smiling, from pretending, from being stared at. "You did well tonight," Minjai said as they entered the apartment. "Thanks," Donna replied tiredly. "I'm going to bed." "Donna." She turned. Minjai looked like he was struggling with something. "Earlier, when you asked why I do not want to get married, I was rude. I'm sorry." "It is okay. Jiwoo told me about Sun-hee." Minjai's face hardened. "She should not have. Maybe not. But it helps me understand why you are the way you are." "And how am I?" "Scared," Donna said softly. "Scared of losing someone again." Minjai looked away. "Good night, Donna." He walked to his room and closed the door, ending the conversation. Donna went to her own room and sat on the bed. This was going to be a very long 6 months. But as the weeks passed, something unexpected happened. Living together, they developed a routine. Morning coffee together before he left for work. Evening dinners when he came home, usually late. Weekend appearances at family events. Are you still watching? I hope you are, because things are about to get really intense. If you are loving this story, drop a comment and let me know which moment has hit you the hardest so far. Donna's struggle? Minjae's hidden pain? And stay tuned, because the real drama is just beginning. Slowly, carefully, they started to talk. Real conversations, not just coordinating schedules. Donna told him about Kenya, about her family, about her dreams for the future. Minjai told her about the business, about the pressure he felt, about his grandmother's stories from when she was young. He never mentioned Sunhee. That topic remained closed, but other walls started coming down. One night, Donna was studying at the dining table when Minjai came home looking particularly exhausted. "Rough day?" she asked. He grunted and loosened his tie. "There is food in the kitchen. I made ugali and sukuma wiki." Minjai paused. "You cooked? Do not sound so surprised. I have been cooking since I was 8. He went to the kitchen and came back with a plate, took a bite. His eyebrows rose. "This is good." Again, do not sound so surprised. A small smile tugged at his lips. An actual smile. Donna had not seen him really smile before. "What?" she asked. "Nothing. Just, you are very defensive about your cooking." "My cooking is excellent. Thank you very much." Minjai took another bite. "I'm not arguing." They ate together in comfortable silence. It felt normal, domestic, almost real. That was the dangerous part. It was starting to feel real. Donna caught herself watching Minjai when he was not looking, noticing small things, how he rubbed his temples when he was stressed, how he always checked on his grandmother before going to bed, how he left sticky notes on the coffee maker with reminders for her about meetings or events. She was starting to care about him. Actually care. That was not part of the contract. Then the gifts started arriving. The first one was a necklace. Beautiful, expensive, delivered to the apartment with no card. "Did you send this?" Donna asked Minjai. He looked at it and frowned. "No. Maybe from my grandmother?" But when Donna called Mrs. Kwan to thank her, the old woman had no idea what she was talking about. The second gift came a week later. Flowers. Rare, exotic, clearly expensive. Again, no card. "This is getting weird," Donna said. Minjai agreed. He had his assistant try to track down who sent them, but the orders were placed anonymously, paid in cash. The third time, it was not a gift. It was a message. "You do not belong here. Leave before it is too late." Donna found it slipped under the apartment door. Her hand shook as she showed it to Minjai. His face went dark. "Pack a bag. You are staying somewhere else tonight." "What?" "No. I am not running away from some anonymous coward." "Donna, this is serious." "I know it is serious. That is why I'm not leaving. If someone wants me gone, I am going to find out why." Minjai looked at her for a long moment. "You are incredibly stubborn. You are just figuring this out now?" Despite the situation, he almost smiled. "I'm assigning security to you, full-time. Do not argue." Donna wanted to argue, but the message had scared her more than she wanted to admit. "Fine." The security guard, a quiet man named Mr. Park, started following Donna everywhere. To class, to the library, to the small church she had found where other Kenyan students gathered on Sundays. It should have made her feel safer. Instead, it made her feel like prey being hunted. At university, people started treating her differently. Some were friendlier, clearly trying to get close to Minjai through her. Others were colder, resentful of her connection to wealth and power. One afternoon, a group of students surrounded her in the library. "Is it true you are marrying Kwan, Minjai?" one girl asked. "Yes," Donna replied carefully. "Why? Does he feel sorry for you?" The words hit like a punch. Donna kept her face neutral. "Excuse me." "Come on. A Korean man like him, he could have anyone. Why would he choose you unless he feels sorry for you?" Donna stood up, gathering her books. Maybe he chooses people based on character instead of appearance. You should try it sometime." She walked away before they could see how much their words had hurt. That night, she cried in her room, quiet tears of frustration and pain and exhaustion. She was so tired of fighting, of proving herself, of being strong all the time. A soft knock on her door made her quickly wipe her eyes. "Donna?" Min-jae's voice. "I heard, from Mr. Park, about what happened at the library. I'm fine. Can I come in?" I said I am fine. The door opened anyway. Min-jae stood there, and his face changed when he saw her tears. "You are crying." "I am not." She wiped her eyes again. He crossed the room and did something unexpected. He sat beside her on the bed and just waited. Donna did not know what to do with this version of Min-jae, the one who did not have all the answers, who just offered presents instead of solutions. "Why are people so cruel?" she finally asked. "Because they are scared," Min-jae said quietly. "Scared of anything different, anything that challenges their view of how the world should be. I am so tired of being different. I know." They sat in silence for a while. "For what it is worth," Min-jae said, "those girls are idiots. I did not choose you because I feel sorry for you. I chose you because you are the most genuine person I have met in years. You do not want anything from me except honesty. Do you know how rare that is?" Donna looked at him. "This is still just a contract, though, right?" Something flickered in his eyes. "Right. Of course." But the way he said it made Donna wonder if he was lying to himself as much as to her. Things changed after that night. Min-jae started coming home earlier. He asked about her day and actually listened to the answers. He helped her study for exams even though he knew nothing about international trade law. He made her laugh with dry comments about his business partners. Donna found herself waiting for him to come home, found herself smiling at his texts, found herself forgetting this was all temporary. 2 months into their arrangement, Min-jae had a business dinner he needed to attend. "Come with me," he said. "Is that necessary?" "No, but I want you there." Those 4 words did something dangerous to Donna's heart. The dinner was with potential investors from Japan. Donna stayed quiet mostly, observing. But when one investor made a comment about African markets being too risky, she could not help herself. "Actually," she said politely, "Africa has 6 of the 10 fastest-growing economies in the world right now. The risk is in not investing early enough." The investor looked surprised that she had spoken, more surprised that she knew what she was talking about. "You have studied this?" he asked. "It is my focus area at university," Donna replied. What followed was a 20-minute conversation about emerging markets. The investor was impressed. By the end of dinner, he had asked for Donna's email to send her some research papers. In the car going home, Min-jae was quiet. "Did I mess up?" Donna asked nervously. "I should not have spoken. That was your meeting." "You were brilliant," Min-jae said, turning to look at her. "He is one of the toughest investors in Asia, and you had him eating out of your hand." Donna felt her face warm at the praise. "I just answered his questions. You did more than that. You made him rethink his entire investment strategy." Min-jae smiled, a real one that reached his eyes. "Where did you come from, Donna Achieng?" "Kenya. You know this already." He laughed. Actually laughed. The sound filled the car, and Donna realized she wanted to make him laugh again, as many times as possible. Dangerous. This was getting so dangerous. That night she called her mother. Samuel's surgery had been successful. He was recovering well. Her sister had enrolled in a better school with the money Min-jae was sending. "You sound happy," her mother said. "Do I?" "Yes, different. Lighter." Donna looked across the apartment to where Min-jae sat on the couch, reading through documents, his glasses sliding down his nose. "Maybe I am," she admitted quietly. "Is it because of him? This man you are engaged to?" Donna had told her mother the basics. Not about the contract, but about Minjai. Maybe. Does he make you happy? Mama, it is complicated. Love is always complicated, baby. But this was not love. It could not be love. Could it? After hanging up, Donna joined Minjai on the couch. What are you working on? Contract negotiations. Very boring. Tell me anyway. So he did. And Donna listened, asking questions, offering perspectives he had not considered. They talked until past midnight, sitting close on the couch, the city lights glowing through the windows. At some point, Donna's head ended up on his shoulder. At some point, his hand found hers. Neither of them mentioned it. The next morning, Donna woke up still on the couch, covered with a blanket. Minjai was in the kitchen making coffee. Did we fall asleep? She asked, sitting up. You fell asleep. I carried you to the couch properly and went to bed. You could have woken me. You looked peaceful. He brought her coffee, made exactly how she liked it. 3 sugars, lots of milk. Their hands touched as she took the cup. The moment stretched too long. Minjai pulled away first. I have meetings all day. Security will take you to campus. Just like that, the walls were back up. Donna wanted to scream. Every time they got close, he pulled away. Every time something real started to develop, he reminded her this was temporary. But what if she did not want it to be temporary anymore? At university that day, Donna could not concentrate. Her mind kept going back to Minjai, to the way he smiled at her, the way he listened when she talked, the way his hand felt in hers. She was in love with him. The realization hit her like a truck. She was in love with Kwon Minjai, and this was a disaster. Her phone buzzed, a message from an unknown number. He will never truly want you. You are just convenient. Leave before he destroys you, like he destroys everything he touches. Donna stared at the message, her hands shaking. Who was sending these? And why? She showed it to Mr. Park, who immediately called Minjai. 20 minutes later, Minjai arrived at campus himself, something he had never done before. He looked furious. Let me see. Donna showed him the message. That is it, he said. We are involving the police. No. Donna, someone is threatening you. The police will ask questions. They will investigate. They will discover our engagement is fake. Your grandmother will find out. Minjai ran his hand through his hair, frustrated. I do not care about that anymore. I care about keeping you safe. Those words, the way he said them. Donna felt her heart crack open. Why? She whispered. What? Why do you care so much? This is just a contract. I am just convenient, right? That is what the message says. Minjai stared at her. You think that is what you are to me? Convenient. I do not know what I am to you. You never tell me anything real. They were standing in the middle of campus, students walking past, staring. Mr. Park stood at a respectful distance, pretending not to listen. We should talk about this at home, Minjai said tightly. No. I am tired of waiting. I am tired of almost moments and almosts. Tell me the truth. What am I to you? Minjai's jaw worked. He looked like he was fighting an internal war. You are, he started, then stopped. His phone rang. He looked at the screen and his expression changed. I have to take this. Of course you do. Donna felt tears prick her eyes. Go. Handle your business. That is what matters, right? She walked away before he could respond, before the tears could fall where he could see them. That evening, Minjai did not come home. He sent a text saying he had to fly to Busan for an emergency meeting. Donna sat alone in the huge apartment and let herself cry properly. She had been stupid, so incredibly stupid, falling for someone who was clear from the beginning that this was just business. The next morning, flowers arrived, not the creepy anonymous kind. These had a card. I am sorry. We will talk when I get back. Please be safe, Minjai. Donna held the card and did not know whether to laugh or cry more. 2 days later, Minjai returned. He looked exhausted, like he had not slept. Donna, we need to talk. Here it was. He was going to end the contract early. This was getting too complicated. Give her the money anyway and send her away. She steeled herself. Okay. I have not been fair to you. You asked me what you are to me, and I didn't answer. The truth is, I didn't know how to answer. I didn't know how to explain that somewhere between the contract and now, this stopped being fake for me. Donna's heart stopped. What? I care about you. More than I should. More than I planned to. Minjai stepped closer. You scare me, Donna, because everyone I have ever cared about leaves, dies, disappears, and I cannot lose someone again. So what are you saying? I'm saying I do not know what I am saying. I am confused and terrified, and I do not know how to do this. Donna reached for his hand. Maybe we figure it out together? Minjai looked at their joined hands. What if I mess this up? Then you mess it up. But at least it will be real. He pulled her closer, resting his forehead against hers. This is a terrible idea. Probably. The worst. Definitely. He smiled slightly. When did you become so important to me? I could ask you the same thing. They stood like that, close but not quite kissing, on the edge of something that could be beautiful or could be devastating. Then Minjai's phone rang again. He ignored it. It rang again. Answer it, Donna said softly. He did, his hand still holding hers. His expression changed as he listened. When? Is she okay? I will be right there. He hung up. My grandmother had a fall. She's in the hospital. They rushed to the hospital together. Mrs. Kwan was sitting up in bed, looking annoyed at all the fuss, but Donna could see the bruising on her arm. I'm fine, Mrs. Kwan insisted. I just slipped. These old bones are not what they used to be. Minjai looked like he had aged 10 years. Grandmother, you need to be more careful. I am careful. I'm just old. She noticed Donna and smiled. Sweet girl, you came. Of course I came. Donna sat beside the bed and took Mrs. Kwan's hand. Over the next hour, various family members arrived, including Uncle Jai Sung, who looked at Donna with that calculating expression. Still here, I see, he said quietly to Donna, while Minjai was talking to doctors. Where else would I be? Most people would have run by now. The threats, the messages, the pressure. It would be easier to just leave. Donna's blood ran cold. How do you know about the messages? Jae Sung smiled. I make it my business to know everything about people who get close to this family, especially people with questionable backgrounds. My background is not questionable. Is it not? Tell me, Donna, what do you really know about your father's time in Korea? My father died when I was 12. I know he worked here briefly before I was born. He did more than work here. He was involved in some very sensitive business with this family. Business that ended badly. Before Donna could respond, Minjai returned. Jae Sung smoothly changed the subject, but seeds of doubt had been planted. That night, Donna could not sleep. She kept thinking about what Jae Sung had said. What had her father done in Korea? Why had he never talked about it? She got up and went to Minjai's room, knocking softly. Come in. He was awake, too, sitting by the window. Cannot sleep either, she asked. Worried about my grandmother. Donna sat beside him. She's strong. She will be okay. They sat in silence for a while. Minjai, can I ask you something? Always. Your uncle said something about my father, about him being involved in business with your family. Minjai frowned. What exactly did he say? Donna repeated the conversation. Minjai's expression grew darker. I will look into it, he promised. If there is a connection, I will find it. What if it is something bad? Then we deal with it together. Together? That word gave Donna comfort. She should have known it would not last. 3 days later, Mrs. Kwan announced she was hosting a family dinner to celebrate her recovery. Everyone had to attend, no exceptions. Donna felt uneasy from the moment they arrived. The energy was different. The family members looked at her with something new in their eyes. Knowledge. Like they knew something she did not. Dinner started normally enough. Small talk, forced politeness, the usual tension. Donna sat beside Minjai, drawing strength from his presence. Then Uncle Jae-sung stood up. I would like to make an announcement, he said, his voice carrying across the room. I think it is time we all stopped pretending. Minjai tensed beside Donna. Uncle, this is not the time. I disagree. I think it is exactly the time. Jae-sung pulled out a folder. I had Miss Ah-chieng investigated thoroughly, and I discovered something very interesting. Here we go, folks. This is the moment everything changes. If you have been holding your breath, trust me, you are going to want to keep watching. Things are about to get intense. Donna felt like she was watching from outside her body. 25 years ago, Jae-sung continued, a man named David Oh-chieng worked for this family. He was involved in a major deal with our partners in Africa. Then suddenly, he disappeared. Took sensitive company information with him. Cost us millions. That is a lie, Donna said, finding her voice. My father was not a thief. Was he not? Then why did he flee Korea in the middle of the night? Why did he never return? Why did he change his identity when he went back to Kenya? He did not change his identity. Oh-chieng is a common name. Perhaps. But the timing is suspicious. And now, 25 years later, his daughter appears. Saves my mother. Infiltrates our family. Gets engaged to the heir. Jae-sung looked around the table. Does no one else find this suspicious? This is ridiculous, Minjai said, standing up. Donna had nothing to do with whatever happened 25 years ago. Are you certain? Or are you blinded by whatever hold she has over you? Other family members started talking, voices overlapping, accusations flying. Donna sat frozen, unable to process what was happening. She planned this from the beginning. She is after the money, obviously. Minjai, you need to end this before she destroys everything. Mrs. Kwan tried to speak up, to defend Donna, but no one was listening. Finally, Uncle Jae-sung's voice cut through the chaos. Minjai, you need to decide. This family, or this girl who is clearly using you? Everyone went quiet. All eyes turned to Minjai. Donna looked at him, silently begging him to defend her, to believe her, to choose her. But she saw the doubt in his eyes, the uncertainty. The same look from that first dinner when Jae-sung had planted these seeds. Minjai started, his voice strained. Tell them, Jae-sung pushed. Tell them the truth. Do you really want her? Or is this all just an arrangement that went too far? Donna watched Minjai's face, saw him shutting down, pulling back, protecting himself. No, she thought. Please no. I do not want her, Minjai said, his voice flat and cold. I never did. The room went silent. Those words hung in the air, sharp and cruel and final. Donna felt something inside her break, not just her heart, something deeper. The part of her that had started to believe she could belong somewhere, could be wanted, could be loved. She stood up slowly, carefully, like moving through water. Donna, Mrs. Kwan reached for her hand, tears in her eyes. It is okay, Donna said softly, gently pulling away. He's right. This was all a mistake. She looked at Minjai one last time. He would not meet her eyes. "Thank you for dinner," she said to the room. Then she walked out. Her head held high, her heart in pieces. No one followed her. She took a taxi back to the apartment, moved through it like a ghost, packing only what she had brought with her originally. Everything Minjai had bought stayed behind. She had $3,000 saved from what he had paid her, enough for a small apartment, enough to survive until she figured out what to do next. By midnight, she was gone. She found a tiny room in a boarding house on the outskirts of Seoul, paid for a month in advance, sat on the narrow bed, and finally let herself fall apart. She cried until there were no tears left. Then she made a plan. First, she withdrew from her classes. The scholarship was tied to the Kwan family's university donations anyway. She could not stay there. Second, she resigned from the cafe. Too many memories. Third, she bought a new phone with a new number. Cut all ties. She found work at a fish market in a coastal town 3 hours from Seoul. It was hard, physical labor. Her hands blistered, her back ached. But she did not have to think, did not have to feel. The woman who owned the market, Mrs. Han, asked no questions, just gave Donna a job and a room above the shop. Donna sent most of her wages to her mother, kept barely enough to survive. She did not let herself think about Minjai, about his smile, his laugh, the way he said her name, especially not about his last words to her. I do not want her. I never did. But before she left Seoul completely, she wrote him a letter. Left it at the penthouse for him to find. She needed him to know she was not angry, that she understood, that she was grateful despite everything. And that last line, the one that had been burning in her chest since Jae Sung's accusations. I finally understand why my father never returned to Korea. Because some places held too much pain. Some wounds were too deep to heal. Korea was that place for her now. Back at the penthouse, Minjai sat in Donna's empty room, reading her letter for the 5th time. Tai Min stood in the doorway. "Sir, we cannot find her anywhere." "Keep looking. We have checked everywhere. Her phone is disconnected. She is withdrawn from school. It is like she vanished." Minjai's hands shook as he held the letter. What had he done? The moment those words left his mouth at dinner, he had wanted to take them back, had seen Donna's face crumble, had felt his own heart shatter. But everyone was looking at him. His family, his legacy, everything he was supposed to protect. And in that moment of pressure and doubt and fear, he had chosen wrong. He had chosen the easy path, the safe path, the coward's path. And now she was gone. "Sir," Taemin said carefully, "maybe she wants to be left alone." "No," Minjai stood up. "I have to find her. I have to explain." "Explain what?" "That you did not mean it? I did not mean it. I was scared and stupid, and I hurt the one person who actually mattered." It was the first time he had admitted it out loud, that Donna mattered, that somewhere in their fake engagement, he had fallen completely, terrifyingly in love with her. And now she was gone, and he had no one to blame but himself. He went to his grandmother's house, found her in her room, looking older and sadder than he had ever seen her. "Grandmother, if you came to apologize, save it. I am not the one you hurt." Minjai sat beside her bed. "I messed up." "You did more than mess up. You broke that girl's heart in front of everyone. You humiliated her. You chose the opinion of people who do not matter over someone who actually loved you." "She loved me?" Mrs. Kwan gave him a look. "Everyone knew except you, apparently. That girl looked at you like you hung the moon, and you threw it away." Minjai put his head in his hands. "I do not know how to fix this. Find her. Tell her the truth. Beg for forgiveness, and hope she is kinder than you deserve." Over the next week, Minjai searched everywhere. He hired investigators, called in favors, tracked every lead. Nothing. Donna had disappeared completely. Then Tai Min discovered something. "Sir, I found a transaction." She withdrew $3,000 from the bank the night she left. But there is something else. "What?" "Your uncle, Jae Sung. He has been making inquiries. About David Ochieng, about Kenya, about business deals from 25 years ago." Minjae's stomach dropped. "Show me everything." What he discovered made him sick. His uncle had lied. All of it was lies. David Ochieng had not stolen anything. He had witnessed illegal activities. Jae Sung and Minjae's father had been involved in bribes, in corruption, in deals that violated international law. David had threatened to report them, so they had framed him as a thief and forced him to flee the country. 25 years of lies, 25 years of a man's reputation destroyed. And Donna had known nothing. She was completely innocent. Minjae confronted his uncle that same day. "You knew," he said, his voice shaking with rage. "You knew Donna was innocent, and you destroyed her anyway." Jae Sung barely looked up from his paperwork. "She was a distraction. You were spending too much time with her, not enough on business." "She was the best thing that ever happened to me. She was a poor African girl with nothing to offer this family." Minjae slammed his hands on the desk. "She offered me honesty, kindness, a chance to be something more than this cold, empty existence, and you took that away. I protected the family legacy. You destroyed it. You are corrupt, a liar, everything our family should not be." Minjae stood up straight. "I am done. I am leaving the family business. You can have it all." Jae Sung's confident expression finally cracked. "You cannot be serious." "I have never been more serious. I want nothing to do with this family or this business anymore. Not while it is built on lies." He walked out without looking back. His next stop was Jiwoo. "I need your help finding Donna." Jiwoo looked at him with disappointment. "Why should I help you?" "You broke her heart." "I know. And I will spend the rest of my life making it up to her, if she will let me. But first, I have to find her." Something in his desperation must have convinced her. "Okay, let me make some calls." 2 days later, Jiwoo called him. "I found her. Or rather, her friend from university told me where she might be. A coastal town called Sokcho. But Minjae, she does not want to be found." "I do not care. I am going." The drive to Sokcho took 3 hours. 3 hours for Minjae to rehearse what he would say, to prepare for her to hate him, to accept that he might have lost her forever. He found the fish market as the sun was setting, saw her immediately. She was thinner. Her hands looked rough from work. Her hair was pulled back simply. She wore old clothes and rubber boots, and she was still the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. She was cleaning fish, laughing at something the older woman beside her was saying. Then she looked up and saw him. The smile died on her face. She dropped the fish and ran. Minjae chased after her down the beach, his expensive shoes sinking into sand. "Donna, wait! Please!" She did not stop. He finally caught up, gently catching her arm. She spun around, and he saw tears streaming down her face. "Let me go." "No. Not until you hear me out. I do not want to hear anything you have to say." I lied. The words burst out of him. "At the dinner, I lied. I do want you. I have wanted you from the moment you argued with me about business in my grandmother's sitting room. I wanted you when you made me ugali and told me my tie was ugly. I wanted you every single day we lived together, and I was too scared to admit it." Donna stared at him, tears still falling. "I messed up," Minjae continued, his own voice breaking. "I let fear and pressure and my own cowardice make me hurt you. And I am sorry. I am so incredibly sorry." You said you never wanted me, in front of everyone. I know. And I will regret those words for the rest of my life. He stepped closer. But they were a lie. The truth is, I have never wanted anything or anyone the way I want you. You scare me because you make me hope. You make me feel. You make me want to be better than I am. Why should I believe you now? Because I left the family business. Because I confronted my uncle and discovered the truth about your father. He was innocent, Donna. He was a good man who tried to do the right thing. Just like you. Donna's knees seemed to give out. She sank onto the sand. Minjai sat beside her. My father, she whispered. He witnessed corruption and refused to be part of it. My uncle and my father forced him to leave to protect themselves. I have all the evidence now. I can clear his name officially. Donna covered her face with her hands and sobbed. Minjai wanted to hold her, but did not know if he had the right anymore. I looked for you everywhere, he said softly. Every day. Every hour. I could not eat, could not sleep. Tae Min thought I was losing my mind. Good, Donna said through her tears. You deserve to suffer. I know. They sat in silence as the sun set over the ocean. I fell in love with you, Donna finally said. Somewhere between the contract and the dinners and the late-night conversations. I fell in love with you, and you destroyed me. I know. I fell in love with you too. And then I was too much of a coward to fight for you when it mattered. Donna looked at him finally. What do you want from me, Minjai? A chance. Just one chance to prove I am not that coward anymore. To show you that you are more important than my family's approval or business or anything else in this world. I do not know if I can trust you again. Then let me earn it, however long it takes. I will stay here in Sokcho. I will work at the fish market beside you. I will prove every single day that I choose you. You cannot be serious? I have never been more serious about anything in my life. Donna searched his face. You would really stay here? Give up everything? Everything I have means nothing without you in it. Fresh tears spilled down her cheeks. You really hurt me. I know, and I am sorry. I will spend forever making it up to you if you let me. Donna wiped her eyes. I need time. To think. To heal. I will give you all the time you need. I am not going anywhere. And he did not. Minjai checked into a small motel in town. The next morning, he showed up at the fish market in old clothes, ready to work. Mrs. Han looked at him in confusion. Donna looked shocked. What are you doing? Donna asked. You said you needed time, so I'm giving you time, while also proving I mean what I said. You cannot work here. You do not know anything about fish. Then teach me. For the next 2 weeks, Kwon Minjai, former business heir and feared CEO, worked at a fish market. His hands got cut and blistered. He smelled like fish constantly. His back ached from the physical labor. He had never been happier. Because he got to see Donna every day. Got to make her laugh when he messed up. Got to slowly, carefully show her he meant every word. Mrs. Han thought the whole thing was hilarious. You, she told Minjai, are either the most romantic man alive or completely crazy. Can I be both? Donna tried to stay cold, to keep her distance. But Minjai was impossible to ignore. He remembered how she liked her coffee. He left small notes in her workspace. He never pushed, never demanded, just consistently showed up. One evening, 3 weeks after he arrived, they walked along the beach after work. You do not have to keep doing this, Donna said quietly. Proving yourself. I believe you are sorry. Do you forgive me? She was quiet for a long moment. I'm working on it. Forgiveness is not easy. I know. Take all the time you need. What about your grandmother? Your life in Seoul? My grandmother is thrilled. I call her every day. As for my life and soul, he shrugged, I am building a new one, a better one that includes you, if you will have me. Donna stopped walking, turned to face him. The sun was setting again, painting the sky in oranges and pinks. The ocean waves crashed behind them. I'm scared, she admitted. Scared of trusting you again. Scared of getting hurt. I'm scared too, Minjai said honestly. Scared I will mess this up again. But I am more scared of living without you. Donna reached for his hand. Their fingers intertwined, rough from work, but fitting together perfectly. Okay, she said softly. Okay? Let us try. Slowly. Carefully. No contracts this time. Just honesty. Minjai felt like he could breathe properly for the first time in months. Just honesty, he agreed. He wanted to kiss her. But this was not the moment. This was too fragile, too new. So he just held her hand as they walked back, and that was enough. Over the next months, they rebuilt what had been broken. Slowly, like Donna said. Carefully. Minjai split his time between Soksho and Seoul, starting a new business. Legitimate, honest, everything his family's company was not. Donna enrolled in a different university, finishing her degree. Minjai helped her study, listened to her ideas, supported her dreams. They had hard conversations about trust, about fear, about what had gone wrong and how to do better. They had good days where everything felt easy and natural. They had bad days where old hurts resurfaced and they had to work through them together. But they did work through them. Together. 6 months after that day on the beach, Minjai took Donna back to Seoul, to his grandmother's house. Mrs. Kwan cried when she saw Donna. Sweet girl, I have missed you so much. I missed you too, Donna said, hugging her tightly. Over tea, Minjai told his grandmother everything. The contract, the fake engagement, how it became real. Mrs. Kwan just smiled. I knew from the beginning it was not real. I am old, not blind. You knew, Minjai and Donna said at the same time. Of course I knew, but I also saw how you looked at each other. I knew if I just gave you time, you would figure it out. She sipped her tea. I did not expect you to be so stubborn about it, though. Donna laughed, really laughed. It felt good. Grandmother, Minjai said, his voice nervous. There is something I need to ask you. He pulled out a small box. Inside was a ring, not huge or flashy. Simple and beautiful. He turned to Donna, getting down on one knee. Donna Achieng, the first time I proposed to you, it was fake, a contract, a business deal. This time, I am asking for real. Will you marry me? Not because of my family, or pressure, or obligation, but because I love you. Because you make me better. Because I want to spend the rest of my life making you happy. Donna's eyes filled with tears. Happy tears this time. Yes, she whispered. Yes, I will marry you. Minjai slid the ring onto her finger and kissed her. Their first real kiss. Sweet and gentle and full of promise. Mrs. Kwan clapped her hands together. Finally. I was starting to think I would not live to see this. They all laughed. Later, Minjai took Donna to his office, showed her the documents he had prepared. I cleared your father's name, he said. Officially. It is in all the records now. David Ochieng was a whistleblower who tried to do the right thing. A good man. Donna traced her father's name on the document, tears streaming down her face. Thank you. This means everything. He would be proud of you, Minjai said softly. Of the woman you have become, of the strength you have shown. Donna kissed him. I love you. I love you too. If you made it to the end of this story, thank you for being here. This journey from heartbreak to healing, from lies to truth, from fear to love. I hope it touched your heart the way it touched mine while sharing it. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that subscribe button. Share this video with someone who needs to hear that second chances are possible, that love can heal, and that sometimes the best things in life are worth fighting for. Leave a comment below and tell me your favorite moment. And remember, your story is not over yet. Sometimes the best chapters come after the hardest ones. Until next time, keep believing in love. 1 year later, Donna and Minjai got married. The wedding was small. Mrs. Kwan, Jiwoo, Donna's family who flew in from Kenya, and a few close friends. Uncle Jae-sung was not invited. He had been forced out of the company after Minjai exposed his corruption. The ceremony was a blend of Korean and Kenyan traditions, beautiful and meaningful and completely theirs. As they danced at the reception, Donna laughed at something Minjai whispered in her ear. "What are you thinking about?" he asked. "About that dinner, when you said you did not want me." Minjai winced. "I will never stop being sorry for that. I know, but I was thinking, maybe we needed that moment, to break completely so we could rebuild properly. No contracts. No pretending. Just us." "Just us," Minjai agreed, pulling her closer. "For the rest of our lives. That's a long time. Not long enough." Donna rested her head on his shoulder as they swayed to the music. She thought about the girl who had saved an old woman at a subway station, who had agreed to a fake engagement out of desperation, who had her heart broken in front of everyone. That girl had been lost. But she had also been found. She had found strength she did not know she had. Love she did not think she deserved. A place she finally belonged. "Hey," Minjai said softly. "Hey. I want you. I always did. I always will." Donna smiled through happy tears. "I know. I want you too." And this time, when he said those words, everyone believed him. Most importantly, she believed him.